The Penn State Meteorology Department has been granting degrees since the 1940s, but the department really took off in the 1950s, largely because of a meeting between a young meteorology faculty member and a U.S. president that took place 60 years ago next week. The faculty member is Dr. Charles Hosler, in 1955, a 31-year-old assistant professor. His weather forecasting skills impressed Penn State's president at the time, Milton Eisenhower, who frequently called him for a forecast before flying to Washington to visit his slightly more famous brother, Dwight, the U.S. president in this story. 1955 was Penn State's centennial year, and to celebrate that milestone, Milton Eisenhower had invited his brother to speak at Commencement, that year held outdoors on Saturday, June 11th at Beaver Field, which at that time was located near the Nittany Lion Inn. But Friday night brought a steady rain and concern about the forecast, so Milton turned to Charlie Hosler.
There was a critical weather forecast because they had 40,000 people wanting to see him in the stadium, the football stadium, give his talk, and it was pouring rain all night. And they had made no provision to move it indoors, and they expected a panic as to who would get in and who wouldn't get in.
Hosler stayed up all night drawing maps, concluding that if the ceremony was delayed just a bit, a dry slot would punch into central Pennsylvania, bringing a short break in the rain. And at 7 a.m. the morning of graduation, he presented his case.
So I was called down and had breakfast, shared a grapefruit with Dwight Eisenhower, and talked about the weather at D-Day and the D-Day forecast, and presented him with a weather map and what there'd be a window of a few hours when they could hold commencement outdoors, and everything worked out. I had a lucky forecast.
Indeed, commencement was held in the stadium, went off without a hitch. About 1,800 graduates and 30,000 spectators. Lots of puddles and standing water, but no rain. President Eisenhower addressed the graduates, and he remembered his new friend, Charlie Hosler. In fact, in the years to follow, the president would often call Charlie for a personal forecast.
One morning I was painting my bathroom ceiling, and the phone rang, and my little girl daughter, my daughter was 5 years old, answered the phone and said, the White House is on the telephone. And it was Dwight Eisenhower calling from White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, from the Greenbrier Hotel. He said, we're talking things over, and they wanted to fly us back to Washington. Is the weather going to be good? I said, heck no. I said, there are tornadoes in the area and severe thunderstorms.
That kind of relationship with friends in high places helped build the reputation of Penn State meteorology.
That was good for the meteorology department, the fact that I was sort of the local forecaster and got us publicity, and of course the president knew we were here.
Dr. Hosler, now 91 years old, still comes to the office occasionally, and believe me, when he talks, we listen. Fred will be back next with the extended forecast.